This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Hello, this is Game On and I'm Adam Rosser, and Andy Robertson is the editor at Ask About Games. He's also the family gamer. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
We are looking at some games that people might want to think about for getting for younger people.
It's a return from Scalextric, which obviously parents will remember playing growing up. Well, I do anyway. I don't know if you do. But the latest version of this interacts with an iPad. So it's this Arc Pro system. So you get the set, you get the cars and the track as pretty much normal, but it has like this interface. So the iPad knows how the cars are performing and it tracks you, gives you lap times and looks after all that. But then it puts in things like weather, like tyre damage, fuel. And so you have to do pit stops at certain times. You can even then tune the performance of your car to match how you want to race it. So it kind of takes it from just a physical game on the carpet into the kind of crossover into it. It does feel more like a video game. And I really like that because I play it because I remember playing it as a kid, and it's really nice to be able to introduce my kids to it, and they're really keen.
So you're still using the classical Scalextric tracks, though? Is that right?
And it's compatible with all the latest generation of Scalextric track and cars. And then either you can have these two versions. You have the digital version of Scalextric, which is up to 6 cars on one track, kind of lane changing, or you have the more traditional, just one on each slot, basically. But both of those have an Arc system, either Arc Pro or Arc Air, but then has this iPad app that kind of takes it into that video game territory. And I was a little bit sceptical before trying it, but actually it's really good. And that crossover between proper racing, and obviously Scalextric cars go pretty quick, and you need a good deal of skill to keep them on the track. And so that combination has been good. And my boys have got a bit older now, and having sort of grown up with the Anki Overdrive cars and kind of grown out of that, it feels like this is a good next step for them.
So if it's raining in the app, does that mean the cars perform differently on the physical track?
Yeah, it does. So you calibrate the cars before you start. So if you get effects in the race, like an oil slick or rain, it slows your performance down, or you can have a yellow flag if someone comes off. But what really impacts the race is how it tracks the tyre damage and the fuel you've got left. So you have to strategically actually pull off into a pit lane, wait there while your car refuels, and then you're back onto the track and you carry on.
So there's a pit lane in the new sets as well?
Yeah, the Scalextric digital version has lane changing. So you have 6 cars, but still only 2 rails, but you can switch lanes back and forth on certain pieces. And then there's a pit lane where you switch into it, stop, and then you're refueling or getting a tyre change, and then carrying on. And
puts a whole hell of a lot of depth onto the Scalextrics, which used to be trying not to get the little cars to fly off at the end of the curves, which was about the only risk there was inside the whole thing. Oh, that's fascinating.
And actually, the one final thing to say is that the digital set, I've realised, is that it's a nice thing. If you fly off, the thing always was you put it on the wrong track, and the younger child would get shouted at, it's not that one, it's the other one. Yeah. But on digital, it doesn't matter which one you put it back on, because they can lane change, and so you just pop it back on and you're away again. So there's quite a few tweaks that are quite small but actually make a big difference.
Wow, interesting.